It's okay today if you feel this way. You don't have to hide it, you don't have to stay. It's okay today, let it fade away. Even if
这
it
些年，我越来
lingers,
越觉得，生活真正留下来的，并不只是经历，那些走过的路、遇见的人、喝过的一杯茶，都会在时间里慢慢发酵，成为后来理解世界，也理解自己的答案。这里是倩子的时光里，今天想和你分享一段关于2006年的旅行。Sometimes the things we miss most were never expensive. We just didn't know they were precious. Over the years, I've come to realize that what truly stays with us isn't just where we've been. It's the people we met, the places we wandered, and sometimes even a simple cup of tea. Welcome to Chance Moments in Time. Today, I'd like to take you back to the year 2006. When I started organizing my old photos, I realized something surprising. In 2006, I traveled far more than I remembered. There was Wu Mountain, Sichuan, Sanya, and many small trips whose dates I've long forgotten. Looking back now, I think those journeys were possible because life felt different. Work was busy, there was competition, there was pressure. But people still had room to breathe. Company expected you to work hard. Yet somehow they also respected the fact that you had a life outside office. As I was approaching 30, travel became more than a vacation. It was a small celebration of youth, shared with friends my own age. Wu Mountains was already a famous destination. Some places were crowded, but surprisingly, it never felt overwhelmingly commercial. The place that impressed me most wasn't the scenery, it was the ancient hanging coffees hung about the cliffs. They quietly overlooked the mountains, as if time itself had stopped. People believed that resting closer to the sky allowed the soul to leave the ordinary world behind. Yeah, even in that, there were social classes. Only tribal leaders and noble families could be buried there. Time, however, has always been fair. Every life eventually returns to nature, and every soul deserves freedom. One unexpected stop changed me far more than the famous attractions. Someone local suggested me to visit a small tea factory inside Wu Nature Reserve. It wasn't designed for tourists. There was no gift shop, no performance, no marketing, just a quiet room with green painted walls and a long wooden table. Glasses cups were lined up like a tiny laboratory, each holding a different black tea. I bought only a small packet of 正山小种, not because it wasn't good, simply because at that age I didn't understand tea. I didn't want to spend too much money. I've tasted many teas since then, but strangely, none of them has stayed with me quite like that one. Maybe what I remember isn't it the tea itself, it's the feeling, the calmness, the honesty, and the unexpected joy of discovering something beautiful without looking for it. Later that year, I traveled to Sichuan. The trip almost never happened. I had become sick from work and was raised at home. Then my colleagues called, and our department was leaving for a team trip. I felt better, packed my bag, and jumped in at last minute. We visited Chengdu, learned Taizi on Mount Qingcheng, stood beside Dujiangyan irrigation system, and afterward, I used a few vacation days to explore Leshan by myself. Looking back, that may have been the most spoiled moment of my career, not because I was important, not because I was exceptional, But because my company still treated additional employees like additional human beings, that kindness is something I appreciate far more today than I did back then. Toward the end of 2006, my parents and I went to Sanya together. My mother has always been my favorite travel companion. My father usually preferred his own pace of life, but that year he came with us. My mother was about to turn 16. My father was 1 year younger. So we chose a day between their birthday and set off together. I've always loved mountains more than the sea. Mountains tell stories. They change with the season. The ocean to me has always been more about the space than memory. But the sun surprised me. The beaches were quiet. The water was crystal clear. Life moved slowly. Years later, I visited Phuket in Thailand. It was wonderful. But somehow the Sanya I remember still feels more beautiful. Perhaps every generation has its own paradise. Looking through those old photographs, I can see how much time has changed all of us. Sometimes luxury isn't about money, it's about being young, having house parents, having enough energy to begin another journey, and living in a world that hasn't learned to hurry quite so much. Back then, I didn't know I was already living the good old days.